So
Yeah.
everybody, everybody, we're here with Jennifer Williams. Uh, she's with Moms for Liberty, Wayne County. She started it in Wayne County. It's a national chapter, and she's going to educate us on what Moms for Liberty does, because there's a lot of things that they do that to me is like awesome. But go ahead, Jennifer, just let us have it for like the next 15 minutes, and
Oh,
let's
okay
hear,
then.
let's hear it.
Oh,
Let's hear
I
it.
can filibuster. I can
I'm gonna go
filibuster like
take
the
a
rest
time.
of them.
Let's hear it.
All right. My name is Jennifer Williams. I'm the chapter chair of Moms for Liberty, Wayne County, New York. We are a national organization, but we are organized by counties across the nation. Currently in New York, we have 13 chapters. So that leaves quite a few counties that need representation. Hint, hint. But our mission for Moms for Liberty is that we're dedicated for the survival of America by unifying, educating, and empowering parents to defend their parental rights at all levels of government. That mainly manifests itself at the school board level. Moms for Liberty has only been around since December of 2020. We get a lot of accusations of we must have billions of dollars of dark money because we've grown so fast. But no, we're actually truly a grassroots organization who mainly make their money selling T-shirts. So go to momsforliberty.org and get a T-shirt. It's grown so fast because the two women who started it, Tiffany Justice and Tina Diskovich, are just beautiful, empowering, just smart, brilliant women who are, they know what they stand for and they're not afraid to back down from a fight because this is about our children. And so they can't. But because these two women have started it and their message is resonating so much across the country, everybody wants to be a part of it who hears about it. And they have excellent reputations, excuse me. Although, you're hitting a mark when you get accused of being a domestic terrorist. So, and you're not. So, you must be over, some kind of truth barrier that you're trying to break through. But we have a vision of empowering Americans and thriving in a culture of liberty. And we do this as joyful warriors. A lot of times people don't put those two words together, joyful and warrior. But because we're moms, because we're dads and grandparents and aunts and uncles and brothers and sisters, we know that kids are watching us. So we are very much aware that our tone is important. And so we want to show them that it's important to fight for what you know is true and right, but do it in a joyful manner and respectful manner, so that you're not tearing down other people while you're trying to promote your own values, or honestly, American values. So we stand for truth, and we work to build relationships, and we work to empower others. The relationship part is hard. It's harder, I would say, because we go to school board meetings and we try to meet with people and to discuss with them what our concerns are compared to what's going on in the schools. And a lot of times we're viewed as people who attack others because we have a disagreement. When I first started advocating in this way, I was told that I'm trying to make education political. Education isn't political. But I've had to do the hard work of telling people, well, yes, it is. And it always has been. The biggest difference now is that there's political opposition on the scene. Education is political because we're talking like a multi-billion-dollar industry, because it is. Education Inc. is a thing, and it's taxpayer money being spent to a lot of different corporations who help, bring in the resources to help educate our children. And so it's political that way because it's using government money, but it's also political because almost every school district across our nation elects their school board. So politicians run the schools. So that argument that education isn't political is just not true. And so the hardest thing that we do is to try to make people understand that it is political, but don't run away from that. We have to, and that's been part of the problem, is people think that because, politics is ugly, they don't want to get involved in that. And we have to learn to not be afraid of that label or be afraid of that venue. When you're standing for what's right for your children and what's right for America, you can't let the labels scare you or the words, just kind of deter you. So We, especially in New York State, we have a very uphill battle because I don't know if you know, there's this organization called NYSET, the New York State Union of Teachers, and they're very much intertwined with NYSED, the New York State Education Department. They're pretty much in each other's back pockets along with Albany. And so whatever the teachers union, and this is like at the top, whatever they say, or they work out the legislation, they work out the policies that feed into our schools. And so there's a really complex and really incestuous relationship there. So trying to break those bonds is extremely difficult, but we are working it, and we understand that this is going to be a long game, but where we start is at the local level. We can.
I'm sorry, Jennifer. Give me one second. Hey, John, can you mute yourself while she's talking?
What's
John,
that?
Can you mute yourself while she's talking?
Oh, yeah.
All right,
I can.
Thanks. All right, go ahead, Jennifer. I'm sorry. But
No, that's okay.
John,
That's
I heard a
okay.
lot of stuff. I heard a lot of John in the background, a lot of noise and stuff. I'm going, all right. So anyways, go ahead. Go ahead, Jennifer. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. Honestly, the best way to affect change is to be in your schools. Especially people who have children in the public schools, to be in the schools. We say, start attending your school board meetings and get familiar with who is on your school board, know who your superintendent is, and your school board members, and build relationships with them. But also it goes into, be in your schools, know who your kids' teachers are. It's really important that don't let your first interaction with anyone in the school be a negative interaction. We've kind of separated ourselves from the schools, thinking, okay, I can just drop my kid off, they'll take care of it, and I'll just pick them up at the end of the day, everything's fine. And because of that kind of philosophy, and I'm not shaming other people, I'm calling my own self out because I did it for years. But when we do that, we're not paying attention and we're not holding anybody accountable. And so we have to get into the classrooms. We have to know who our teachers are, build those relationships with them, because by and large, the majority of teachers are good teachers. They do care about kids. They love education. They love teaching, and they're doing a good job. But they're under the same system that we are, and so they're limited in what they can say or do. So know who your teachers are, but then beyond that, attend your school board meetings. Know who your school board members are, and you get a lot of information by attending these meetings. I know some people think that they're dry and they're hard to understand, but you can't just go once and then leave and then think it's, oh my gosh. You got to do some work, learn some of the language that they use, look at the agendas, what they have, what they're discussing in the meetings, and don't hesitate. If something happened in the meeting that you don't understand, email your school superintendent, email your school board members and ask them, what did this mean? I can give you an example. Was it last year? The principal at my kid's school, he did a presentation. They do usually two to three presentations a year as far as like what's going on in the school. And so the principal gave a presentation about, there are certain guideposts that they have to meet every year. And one thing that they are trying to do is have a respectful environment in the school where everybody feels included. So he talked about how he had training for the teachers and the staff, that they had a speaker come in and he said her name, and I don't remember it. And that she came in and on like a superintendent's day, she talked about respectful language. I'm thinking respectful language. Oh, that sounds good. So I looked up her name. She was from an LGBTQ organization out of Rochester. She came to Wayne County to discuss what he said was respectful language. So I set a meeting with my principal and I said, hey, I'd like to talk to you about, something that you said at the meeting. He's like, cool, no problem. Because we built that relationship. So me coming in to talk to him, it wasn't a foreign idea. And so I said, well, so-and-so came in and you said that her talk was about respectful language. And I went home and I looked her up, and she's from an LGBTQ organization in Rochester. So what kind of respectful language are we talking about? And he said, well, I had a couple of teachers who had questions about the pronouns, and they didn't know how to introduce them and they didn't know how to use them. And so I thought it would be good for them to have someone from the LGBTQ community come in and talk to them about pronouns. I said, why didn't you just say that? He said, well, because I knew it would be controversial. I said, and then you wonder why we have problems. Because look, we may not like it, but you couldn't say LGBTQ because a lot of us would not have liked that. But now we have another level of shade because it looks like you're hiding it, and that's not transparent. So if you're willing to I'm asking you that if you're willing to have these people in our school talking to our staff who will then talk to our kids about these things, I would ask you to have the backbone to be honest with us about who these people are, and then let the chips fall where they may, and let us have these discussions. And he's like, I see your point, and so it was, I don't know if it really changed his mind or anything, but having that discussion with him, let him know that while you think that you're reflecting like a state standard of inclusivity, your local community is not completely on board with that. And we have to keep consistently reminding them that our schools serve our communities and they must reflect our values, not what Albany is telling us to do. So that's, getting involved and knowing the players, knowing who these people are in your schools, knowing the language, and just continually showing up, you can actually be heard. And, you can have a lot of, are we going to completely get SEL, social emotional learning, and the sexualization of our children out of the schools overnight? Of course not. But being in there and being that we can be a stopgap, and we can stop it, and we can slow it down and apply pressure and hold our elected officials accountable and let them know that we are parents. We are in charge of the spiritual and the social and the moral conduct of our children, and don't leave us out of it. And because we're going to call you on it when we find it.
All right. Hey, I have a question real quick, and this might be a trick question, but I know a lot of people are concerned about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
What can people do about the whole having fear of schools with the school shootings? What can people do to try to help secure the schools better?
Well, they can definitely talk to their superintendents. They're not going to tell you all the safety plans. They can't, and we don't want, honestly, you don't want all the safety plans out there for the how to break into the school. What are our weaknesses? But you should ask, like I know even since last year, our school, there's a lot of different things that they can do. Like they can number the doors, the exterior door. So if there is a breach, they can identify that door a lot better. They can put better locks on the doors and don't prop doors. Like, Uvalde, what happened, that shooter came in because there was a back door open because I forget what the circumstances were. It was toward the end of the year. And I think maybe there was a party or something going on that day. Things were going back and forth from the parking lot into the building. So they propped the door open, and that's how the shooter came in. To know best practices that don't do that. Every exterior door must be locked and monitored at all times, and make sure that your school is doing that. You can ask them about that sort of thing. And, do you have a secured entryway? Do you have SROs? Safeties, school resource officers,
Yeah.
And if not, why not? You can definitely get in there and ask them, because it is definitely a concern, and you want to know that your school is taking that seriously. And I know as far as Wayne County is concerned, they do take it very seriously, and they run drills. And as far as Wayne County goes, I feel pretty good. If there is, someone trying to get into a school, they can slow them down until the sheriff gets there. At least that's the intent. I remember I worked in a charter school in California. We had the active shooter training, and staff inside the school. You're not trained to stop a shooter. What you're trained to do is to slow them down, because realistically, you're not going to stop them, but you can put barriers into the doors and locks. Like I know a lot of the classroom doors have locks now too. And so it's just slowing them down until, the big guns can get there, because we don't have, concealed carry permits for teachers in New York State. So the only weapon you can have on a school campus is an SRO.
Yes, they actually work pretty well too. But
yeah.
So Jennifer, anyways, how can people? I mean, you're always looking for people like for new chapters. Like what Monroe County doesn't have a chapter, does it? Monroe
no,
County?
they do.
They do have one? So
they
can you
do
give
have
people
one.
information on how they can reach out to you or reach out to Moms for Liberty and everything else like that? And
yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, Moms for Liberty has a national website. It's momsforliberty.org. you can go to that website, and then they have a map of the United States. And so you can identify chapters that way. You can see, go click over to New York and click on your county or any state that you're in. Click on your county, and you'll pretty quickly see if there's a chapter or not. If there's a chapter there, there should be a website or an email there for a way to contact them, to become a part of them. If there's not a chapter already existing, it gives you the option of, you want to start a chapter? And so you could be that will get you, there's like a digital form that you have to fill out, and that can start the interview process and the vetting process for you to start a chapter in your own county.
It's a lot of moms. I said this, then we have to get going because then me and John got a call at the BS that's going on. But
yes,
and I've said this for several years that it's the moms really. It's the moms that are going to change things. It's the mama bears. There's an organization out there called the Mama Bears, because you don't mess with the Mama Bear's cub. So it's really the moms that are out there that are going to fight the hardest. There are guys out there fighting, don't get me wrong, but it's really the moms that are going to change things here in New York.
Well, just so you know, there's a dad who's a chapter chair of our new Onondaga County chapter. So he must be really secure in his manhood to take on a chapter of Moms for Liberty for Onondaga. But it's mainly the name didn't deter him. He saw the structure of our organization and the leadership that we have and the different things that we've been able to do with a national brand like we have. And so he didn't hesitate. And he's up and going and doing good things in Onondaga County. So don't let that deter you. If you're a dad or, and you're interested, you can still be involved in Moms for Liberty. You can even start your own chapter.
Exactly. All right, Jennifer, thanks for joining us, and good luck, and keep fighting a good fight. And John, did you want to ask her anything, or are you all set?
No, I didn't. No, I've heard of the Moms for Liberty. I think I've been to one or two of their meetings. Very professional people. Like you said, once the moms get involved, that's it. You better just watch right out, because boy, I'll tell you, they really cherish the children, not even their own children, but everybody's children. And, great job. I'm glad to have you on.
Yeah, thank you. And I don't know if you've ever heard it said, but, nothing, a mom can even be a better investigator than an FBI agent when she's trying to get to the source of and that is 100% true. I can't even tell you the stacks of information I have and the files that I have to educate myself, because it's so important. And when we go into this type of a situation, to not come in ignorant. It's really important to know what you're talking about.
Yep.
The mom could dig deeper than anybody I know. Anyway.
Yeah.
You're not
Jennifer. All right, Jennifer, thanks for coming on with us. And
thanks a lot.
Keep fighting a good fight, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot.
Right.
See you later.
Thanks. Bye-bye. All right, John. So, what we were talking about earlier, you want to share that? You were talking about something interesting that might be going on, or?
Well, I don't know if it really doesn't concern like the Rochester, the Syracuse, further away areas, but we do have a piece of land here that was like almost 400 acres. It was an old test site. We have been fighting with these people for like 2 years now, going to board meetings and this and that and everything else. It's actually called Restore Forward, or Black Women's Blueprint. Well, when it first started out, I noticed on the paperwork at the very first meeting, Alicia Garza's name was on there. And you know who Alicia Garza is? She is one of the founders of BLM. There was three women founded BLM, and she's one of them. So after I mentioned that at the board meeting, it got adjourned, and we've been fighting ever since. And today, I just happened to have somebody drop me off some contamination papers. The ground is really contaminated, and all the neighbors are worried once they start digging and developing, it's going to get into the water in our well system. So I'm hoping we get to shut this down, and everybody can just move on with their lives here. It's been one heck of a fight, I'll tell you. Really has.
So just so people know, because a lot of people might hear BLM and they're thinking that you might be racist or whatever, but to understand that BLM is actually like an arm of the Democrat Party.
Yes.
That's what they are. They're an arm of they were the Democrat Party more or less formed BLM, just like they formed Antifa Just like
Yeah.
now they're guiding the LGBTQ R2D2 C3PO stuff going on.
The alphabet gang. Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
they do. Because, but yeah. So because when people mention BLM, people think, what are you saying? Black lives don't matter. That's not the point.
Well,
You know?
every life matters. It doesn't matter what your ethnicity is, or race, or religion, or whatever. Everybody matters. It's just the point here is they lied from the beginning, and they said it was going to be a one thing, like a battered woman's retreat, and now it's something else, and it's something else. I mean, they've got so many stories. It's just, I just can't wait to get it over with, you know?
Well, the final, like the big thing is what's really going to be the final thing that's going to be at the end, because you don't even really know, right?
Yeah, I don't think anybody really knows. They're just been hiding so much stuff, and we were unable to come up with any contamination reports for the last 2 years, 2.5 years. And then all of a sudden, bam, today I got all the contamination reports from the property. And then while I was getting that, I got another 46 emails of more stuff from the property. So now that it's almost all over and they've almost won, now I'm starting to get information to give to the public. I'm currently in charge of that page too. I'm one of the people in charge of that page. It's Concerned Citizens of Ava, New York. And it's just going to wreak havoc on the school system, the roads, taxes, and it's a nonprofit. So we're going to be footing the bill for that. And I don't think that's fair.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So just to let everybody know, because I like to mention this, that when we talk about things, it has nothing to do with any of the guests that come on. It has nothing to do with this is our own opinion, our own thoughts, and of everything we talk about. It has nothing to do with the guests and their opinions.
Correct. Yeah. So what else is going on? You shoot something out there.
Oh, distraction. Let's talk distraction.
Which one?
Which one?
The
one distraction that distracted all the other distractions. They're everywhere.
Hey, can I throw something in here real quick? I'm also in charge of running Sheriff Carpinelli's reelection page. Today, I spoke with the sheriff, and his opponent got the same amount of numbers for signatures as the sheriff did. So, I mean, if we can spread the word somewhat on, Sheriff Mike Carpinelli from Lewis County, he really needs our help at this time to get his last term. He only wants to go one more time. Then he's going to retire and, enjoy the rest of his life. But the lady that's running against Mike is a retired state trooper. She worked under Cuomo. She worked under Ho. So you know what that means. She says she's Republican, but you know what that means. It's the county's going to change. The county's definitely going to change.
I know. They try to put the people in they can control.
Exactly.
That's what's happening.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah. What else you got happening over your way?
I wanted to bring this up. We talked about it a little bit earlier about the Marley Hornick New York Citizens Audit.
Yeah.
The 11 she said was good for her. I know you can't make it on because you have that meeting to go to or a meeting to go to. But I didn't want to play middleman.
I got it.
Middleman.
I hear you.
But so Gina for Liberty, I messaged her. She said she would help host it because she knows Marley because she hosted the other one out there. I go, she'd be like a perfect person to host it with us. So she's coming on, and that's on the 11th though. That's on a Tuesday, so people need to know that it's going to be like a special little thing because we have Cherie coming on that Wednesday for Fight for Your Family, who's also going to talk about all the local, like the school board stuff, the committees stuff, and how to get involved locally, and how that you can change what's going on on your school boards and stuff like that. So that's going to be.
Let me tell you, Cherie is a firecracker. I love her.
She is a little fire. She's everywhere. And she's not even going to be home that night when doing the live. She goes, I'm going to be on the road. And I was like, that's fine. Everybody's busy.
Just like me now. I'm at work.
Everybody's busy but me.
It seems that way, Charles. I don't know why. It seems like you have all kinds of time on your hands there.
I can almost guarantee you everybody's got more money than I do.
I don't know about that.
You know,
I don't know about that.
You know, okay, I think it's time for a station break so we can pay our bills.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I always wanted to say that. You know what it is?
Yeah, we don't do that.
We don't have any bills.
We don't do that stuff here.
We have no bills. We don't make no money off of doing this.
Yeah. Nope. Sure don't. No donations, no nothing. We don't want nobody's money.
It's all about just informing people. That's what it's all about. People understanding what's going on out there. That's it.
Right. Whether they have a different point of view or not, at the end of the day, I mean, let's just all get along one way or another. I mean, not everybody's going to agree on everything and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we're all humans, we're all citizens, and we're all fighting for the same goal. So that's what you got to keep in mind. You know, a lot of people don't keep that in mind.
Don't fight against each other, more or less.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What else you got out that way?
Oh, that's pretty much it for me, I think. I believe that's it. We've been about a half hour, unless you got something else you want to throw out there.
I really don't right now because I'm at work and I'm like in the middle of trying to paint this floor, but I couldn't miss another live. And I couldn't miss Jennifer. Very smart lady, and boy, she's really got her stuff together.
She is. I like Jennifer. That's why I just want to get good people. I want to get great people on here that know what they're doing, know what they're talking about, that are fighting for others.
Right. Did you, by any chance, get in touch with John?
I actually I friend requested him. We're friends on there now.
Okay.
We're all right. Friends, so
he'd be a good one. He's like us. He's very vocal. He's he's an assemblyman. He's a very great guy. You'll like him. The audience would like him.
Yeah, I'll contact him. I mean, we could literally fill the whole board up for like a couple of months if we wanted to. I'm thinking.
I know. We're gonna have to do it a couple times a week, I guess. You know. Because
I can contact Marcus Williams, who's awesome.
Oh, he's great. I love Marcus. Yeah.
I love Marcus. I can Peter Vasquez and Aisha Price from the Frederick Douglass Foundation. I mean, the list can go on. There's Brian from Concerned Citizens. I'm sure he'd come on and like to talk about what's going on.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of people. There's a lot of we could just go on and on. But
right.
I don't want to go that far ahead because then people might forget about it. You know.
Right.
I'm just going to do it 2 or 3 weeks at a time. But
yeah, that's all.
Right.
Yeah, it will. It will. Slow, steady pace always wins the race, brother.
Yep. All right. I think we're pretty much at the half-hour mark.
Okay.
And people share this out there. It's not about promoting us. It's about promoting information. Share it out there to people. Seriously. So,
all right, brother. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Talk to you soon. Everybody have a great night and take care.
Yes, sir. Everybody be safe.
Yeah.